Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Mornings with Loretta, and I am Loretta McNary. Super happy to be here with you all. We have a guest today that we're going to get to learn a lot about because one thing we're seeing, and we'll talk about this more, there's a lot going on in my city, and we feel like the leaders can do more, and I'm pretty sure their hands are not tied because they have a lot of power. And so when you make sure you're voting for people not because you love them or you like them, but because you really believe they can do the job. So this is going to be a series, and so we're starting with Sylvia Goldman. She is in Cobb County, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. So welcome to the show, Sylvia Goldman.
Thank you, Loretta. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad that you decided to come on and to share with us today. And I'm going to jump right in there because I know you're super busy. So I wanted to know what inspired you to become a lawyer and especially a criminal defense attorney.
Oh, that's easy. I had just been exposed to so many things growing up and in the area where we grew up. It was easy to know that we needed some representation in our community and for people in our community. And as I continued on in my career, I used to represent labor unions and employees, and so it just got easier and easier to advocate for people who were more disenfranchised than enfranchised, and so that was a major motivator for me.
And I hear you're the top of the game when it comes to the union negotiations and doing your job, that you are just looked at and revered for your work in that area. So can you share one of your memorable cases or an experience that had a significant impact on your approach to how you practice law?
It's going to seem a little oxymoronic, but the biggest thing that really helped me develop in my practice of law was realizing how much I did not know. My first DUI case that I took on some years ago, I had no idea how much I did not know about DUI defense. And when I found out how much I did not know, it really inspired me to get involved with the National College of DUI Defense. And I'm telling you, it opened up a whole new world of preparation, a level of expertise and understanding, networking, understanding, mentoring, everything came with that. And so when that happened, I knew then that I was in the right place doing the right things.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that, which leads into this next question. So how do you stay updated? Because I know we had a kind of discovery call a couple of weeks ago,
Mhm.
and I really love what you were saying about if you're stopped by the police, you have a whole entire training on that. And for,
Mhm.
and of course, we want everybody to go home safely. So how do you stay updated on changes and developments in criminal law and defense strategies?
Well,
Because
two
it
things
seems
I
like
would
it's changing.
it is evolving. It is evolving constantly. But one of the best things that I like to focus on is developing our response. We have to normalize our response to police encounters. And when we start normalizing it to a level of safety for them, for the officer and for the passenger, the driver, whoever the citizen is who encounters the police, that response to that engagement has have to be at the lowest level and full of prepared to engage and not so much to fight. And that's major. So I think we need to do community service program just dealing with our responses to police encounters. The second thing is that we've been, especially in our jurisdiction, and I think the law in general is moving toward a lot more accountability courts, because we see now that a lot of veterans are encountering criminal offenses, and a lot of it comes from them self-medicating or have not readjusted back to civilian life, and they end up in the criminal justice system. And so a lot of the accountability programs are now addressing those social ills versus criminalizing veteran affairs, criminalizing mental illness, criminalizing first-time offenders who are in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so our court system, the judicial system, moving toward that has been a big evolution in the criminal justice system.
Oh, wow. See, I could stay here for a while, but I want people to get to know you. So when they are going to vote, they can make an informed decision in Cobb
Mm.
County. And for those of us who are not in Cobb County, we can call our friends and family and business associates who are and say, hey, check out Sylvia Goldman. This is who she is. This is her record. This is what she believes. This is what she want to bring to the bench. So can you tell us what strategies to employ to effectively communicate with and or advocate for your clients? What are you using? Because criminal defense to me is one of the toughest jobs you can have, and that's because I don't know a lot about it. But for you, you make it appear so easy because you're so passionate about it. So what strategies do you have that gives you that kind of persona and that expertise in that area?
The one thing that I employ a lot of and have over the years is always looking at the legal issues that are involved. Because as soon as you personalize the law to an individual, you'll start trying to shape the law to deal with that specific issue. But the law doesn't function that way. It has to apply to everybody equally. And so one of the big issues that drives me and keeps me focused is staying up abreast of the law as it's evolving and changing, and having a grasp of that area of law, and particularly like I was saying with DUI, that it's a very nuanced area of criminal defense, but it can be learned and you can prepare to practice in that area. But when you start trying to make the law unique to an individual, then you're starting to manipulate it in a way that it doesn't apply to everybody.
Ooh, I like that. See, I already know. And if you're interested, I'd love for you to come back because we only have so many minutes. There's so much ground I
Yeah.
want to cover. And I know my audience will have questions for you because you are speaking the language that needs to be spoken so that all of us understand that dynamic when it comes to criminal defense. So this is something else that I think Georgia does really, really well. And I know you advocate for this too. So can you share your thoughts on the role of accountability court programs in our legal system and the actual impact, the positive impact that it has on our communities?
In our jurisdiction particularly, we are leading, I believe, in accountability court. We have a veterans court, we have a DUI court, we have a mental health court, we have a division or diversion program for first offenders, and there is also a program for young offenders that kind of evolves into a mentorship program. And so the goal of those programs not to try to avoid consequences for behavior, but to help people in those stages where they are to address the issues that's precipitating these actions, these crimes, or these engagements that they're having with the law. When and what we found out is once those issues are addressed, just take for instance the veterans court. The veterans who have come back into their communities without the assistance or some kind of acclimation back into civilian life, they end up self-medicating. They end up doing things that triggered by some episodes that they had while they were in combat or away from home. And so the Veterans Court is equipped with other veterans who can help lead and guide and assist these veterans who have come into engagement with the court system so that they can get back on course. And it is, I mean, just that program alone has impacted the community in such a way that it is encouraging those who complete the programs to become mentors and to
Yeah.
become guidance. And so it's a great move for the court system.
I absolutely love that. So what about, because it sounds like a I don't know if this is a term, but pre-rehabilitation. So instead of sending them to a hardcore criminal defense court and judge and all of that, you are stepping in and say, that's not necessary. This is not about a criminal person. It was something that happened and it wasn't something they would have probably normally made a decision to do. So I really love that aspect of accountability court. So I want to ask you, can you tell me about a time when you had to navigate ethical dilemmas in your practice and how did you handle that?
In our profession, unfortunately, as lawyers, we get the brunt of a lot of bad jokes about our character and our integrity and our professionalism. There are just a plethora of bad lawyer jokes out there. But for me, it has always been sticking to my own personal constitution. And that has always been a great guidance system for me. Sticking to those things that's true to me, and I don't have to negotiate or compromise or put myself in compromising positions when I know what is my own personal constitution and standards that I abide by. And so usually
Mhm.
when I encounter those kind of situations, my response is usually very direct. No, can't do it. No, won't be able to help you. No, got to get somebody else. I'm not the one. So usually it's very direct because I know the constitution that I abide by for myself.
Right. So that's in and out of court. You are Sylvia Goldman, and that's what you're thinking. You
Yes.
are a woman of faith. You are active in your church, your community, and your family, and you love to play golf and you love music. So I want to ask you this, with all of that going on, and to me, I promise you, when I first saw you and heard you, and I kind of grilled you in our interview, our pre-discovery interview, I'm so I can see you being so effective and impactful as a Superior Court judge based on, not that I know some of your family members, based on not that I just love Cobb County and I was just there for Women on the Move.
Mhm.
That's a plug for me. So what inspired your decision to say, you know what, I'm going to run and win the Superior Court judge, and what unique qualities or experiences are you bringing to the table that will ensure success for all?
Well, one of the things that really matters, I believe, in my jurisdiction is that many of the judges who are on the bench now in our jurisdiction, they came from this legal community. They were practicing here. They were serving here. They were participating in this community, this legal community. So I'm going to say 98% of the judges that are on the bench now in our jurisdiction came from our community, came from this legal community. They were active in it, and we knew them, and we knew their work, we knew their character, we knew their temperament, we knew them. And so that's the form that I fit. I'm from this community. I've been active in it since I've been here. I work here, I live here, and I engage with the lawyers in the community, in this legal community. They've seen my work. They know that I try cases all the time, and it matters that the the reputation, the spirit, the energy, the notoriety of this jurisdiction continues to evolve and stay at the high level that it is, versus regressing backwards to judges thinking that they're God. That has never been the demeanor of this bench, and we want to keep it that way.
Oh, you know what? I can say amen and just sign off now, because that was a very powerful, powerful statement. Oh, yes, we want to keep it that way. So, how do you envision leveraging your legal expertise and your leadership qualities to ensure fair and equitable justice as the new Cobb County Superior Court judge?
you know what really matters is that there are a set of rules that's already in place that manage judges, guide judges throughout the state. There's a standard that's already in place. Going beyond that standard to act to act in accordance with it, but to do justice in such a way that people can again be directed to those accountability courts. That there is a way of engaging with defense attorneys and prosecutors, and the civil side too, family law lawyers, um, so that they are assured that I'm not creating some new form of justice. I'm following what's in place, and I'm complying with the rules for judges. I'm complying with the law of the state of Georgia, and they can have confidence in that I will not be trying to restructure or be an activism judge, an activist judge on the bench. And that matters. That matters when people can have confidence that the law will be applied and interpreted equally and not created from the bench.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So I'm I can see you're prepared. This is not something that you said, hey, that sounds like a good idea. You have put a lot of thought
Mm.
and energy and prayers and listening to God and your community and the people that you have defended over the years and your colleagues, obviously, to come
Mhm.
up with a round way that is equitable, inclusive, and very diverse in your thinking, your position, your passion, that it's like a no-brainer. So can you outline some of the key priorities and initiatives you would champion? I won't say if you're elected, I'm going to say when you're elected as Superior Court Judge, Cobb County, and how do you plan to engage with and serve the community? Now, this is really important. This is like the main question. How are you going to engage with and serve the community as judge?
What's been happening now throughout the course of the campaign, I've met so many people and so many groups that have been absent from the process. Nobody has engaged with them, and that's why I told you early on that I believe that normalizing that response to police encounters is going to be key to engaging with the community. We can take that model out to the community and teach it and practice it and employ it. I think we'll see the numbers diminish on how many people are shot, killed, how many officers are put at risk when they encounter citizens. That engagement is number one for me. Learning how
Mm.
to respond safely and appropriately and engaging with citizens and officers. Those kind of encounters are at right now are commonly dangerous, not be, and they don't have to be. And that would be the role of the judge to tell people that you cannot get justice on the street, on the side of the road. You have to get to a judge. You have to get to a judge.
Mm.
You have to make it to the courtroom. You have to. You
Mm.
cannot expect a police officer to do two jobs: their job as a uniformed officer or detective or anybody as a law enforcement, and the judge. They don't do that on the side of the road. They're just one, they
Mm.
fill in one role, and that's the role of an officer. And so you have to engage another party, and that's the judge. And so I think engaging the community and teaching them on how to engage responsibly, safely, and productively with law enforcement is a big void that needs to be filled. And I believe that that's a attribute that I can bring to the bench and to the community.
And the beauty of all of this, Sylvia, is what I know about you and doing our research and talking to people actually in Cobb County and some of your friends and family. This is who you are. So this is not some kind of campaign gimmick or something that sounds good. You have been actively pursuing justice for all, for everyone, all your entire career. And that's what I said, you know what, I want to talk with her because I know people want to come on and do their platform and they want to campaign. And I said, we won't campaign on here because if we do this thing right, if people get to know you and what you stand for, then that is the most beautiful campaign you can do, is letting people get to know you. So anything you want to close with? I have definitely gone over our allotted time, but I just could not find a good stopping place. This is such an intriguing and engaging and powerful conversation, not only because you're running for judge, but because people get to know you as an attorney, as
Mhm.
a woman, as an aunt, as a sister as well, before you even are sworn in. And you've been sworn in some powerful courts too. I mean,
Mhm.
already you have quite the resume.
Well, Loretta, thank you so much for this opportunity and for just a chance to share some of my passions and why I'm running. I want to encourage everybody to get out and vote and to go for the goal. That's my slogan. Go for the goal, because while judges may have on the same black robe and they may sit on benches, all of them are not equal. And there's a standard, and I'm the gold standard of judges. And that's why I'm telling people, go for the goal and vote for Sylvia Goldman. Thank you so much, Loretta.
I couldn't have said it best, but I do want to share with them those courts that I was mentioning. I knew I had some notes here. And so you have the United States Supreme Court, U.S. Northern District of Georgia Court, Georgia Supreme Court, and Georgia Court of Appeals. Honey, that's quite a legal resume there. So thank you.
Yeah.
Much success to you. I will be coming to some of your events out there in Cobb County and definitely will be there for that victory celebration. We are believing God that he will give you that opportunity to impact not only Cobb County in Georgia, but lead by example, showing other people how it is done and how it should be. Because at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's not about the judgeship. It's about making sure that the community that you live, play, worship in is safe, is
Mhm.
equitable, is diverse, and that there is equality for all and justice, not man's justice, but God's justice for all.
Mhm.
Thank you, Sylvia Goldman. I look forward to seeing you again on Mornings with Loretta. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Loretta.
All right, this is how we close, everybody. Think positive, dream some big old dreams. Be sure to help someone along the way. And guess what, everybody? I will see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.